Hey everyone. So I snagged this awesome little vintage sewing machine from a yard sale for $10. It was made in the 1950s and it's made by Singer. It was made in Great Britain and it's called the Singer Spartan 192K. I have yet to try it out, so this will be the inaugural sewing on it. I did watch a little video to learn how to wind a bobbin and thread the machine and drop the bobbin in. It's very different than my other Singer sewing machine, which is here in the background. The needle in this antique machine sits kind of what I would call sideways. It's about 90 degrees, a 90-degree turn from what the newer Singer, how that needle sits. And it has metal bobbins. I used a metal bobbin for it, and it dropped right in. And it only does a straight stitch, whereas you have about 23 different stitches on the newer Singer. This one does a straight stitch, and it looks like I need to actually move this lever here to back. It says back tack, which would be back stitch. And I am thinking that these numbers here correspond to stitch length, but I'm not 100% sure, so I'm going to test that out. And there's my daughter. There's Miss Emma rattling some sewing clips. This looks like the tension right here, and I just set it on between 3 and 4, so it's about 3.5 just to start. I'm having some problems with the newer Singer. It's supposed to be heavy duty, so you'd think it would sew through thick material, no problem, but I can't seem to get it to sew through about 3 or 4 layers of this terry cloth. It just locks up when I go backwards. So several people online on my sewing group suggested I try a vintage sewing machine, and it just so happens I found this one at our church yard sale about a month ago, and it was for $10. I couldn't believe it. Now, it was never an expensive sewing machine. It's a very basic sewing machine. Like I said, it only does a straight stitch, but I thought $10 was a steal. So here we go. I've put in a new needle. I have not oiled it or anything like that, so let's see if it will sew. I haven't even figured out how to raise and lower the presser foot. Okay, here it is. There's a lever right in the back. Okay, it's down, and here we go. She's sewing. She's shaking the table. Yep, that goes backwards. That goes forwards. It's a lot quieter than my new Singer. I can barely talk over the new Singer. Okay, let's see what happened. Made a pretty good little stitch. Although it almost looks like a lightning bolt stitch, which is really interesting. It's not really straight. It's kind of crooked. See that? It's not a real straight stitch. So maybe these numbers mean something that I should pay attention to. Let's see if it will sew over terry cloth. Let's jump into 3 layers of terry cloth. All right, here we go. It's getting stuck. Oh, I think that's probably a no-go. It did not want to go over the terry cloth. 3 layers of terry cloth. It just wouldn't go. It's almost like it just got stuck down there. It didn't want to go. Well, I'm going to keep playing around with it. All right, so I figured out that if you push this lever down, the further down it goes, the longer the stitch is. And it has a little bit of a more normal looking stitch. If you can look here, the left side was when I had the lever up on like 30, whatever that is. That's a tiny, tiny little stitch. And then if I push it all the way down, that's the right side of the fabric. Now my lever actually won't go all the way down where it says 6 and 7. It won't go all the way down. I've pushed it as far as it'll go. So that may just be broken or need a little bit of greasing or repair work. I'll leave that to John, my husband. So it is sewing really nicely over 2 layers of terry cloth and back stitching no problem. Yeah, and then back stitch and then forward again. No problem with 2 layers. All right, let's see what happens when we go to 4 layers. I put my tension up a little bit closer to 4. That seemed to make the stitch look nicer, so we'll see. Now, let's see if I can do, all right, let's see if I can do 3 layers of terry cloth. I'm gonna fold one over and try to attach it like I would be attaching a pocket or something like that. Okay, slide it under there. And here we go. So it just seems to get stuck. It doesn't want to move. 3 is just too thick. The fabric's not moving at all. This is probably where a walking foot comes in handy on the newer one. I highly doubt they have a walking foot that will fit the old Singer here, but I'm going to keep working on it and see if there's any way I can get it to sew through the 3 layers of terry cloth, because it's doing such a nice job on 2 layers. Just doesn't want to move. Ow, yeah, watch your hand. That was a little bit wiggly. No, it is just not. It'll move backwards, but it's not wanting to move. Oh, there we go. It's moving forwards a bit. Okay, my thread has come loose. My thread has broken. Okay, well, that would be a problem right there. Maybe I need to reduce the thread tension for that thick of fabric. Ooh, we got a nice thread knot there too. Fantastic. All right, so let's rethread this baby. I'm just gonna start all over. So we come down through this little hook here, circle around the tension, and then and this little guy here. Through there. And then you gotta go through this hole here. I wonder if you're supposed to go through that hole. I don't know. Up through this hole. No. This is a little bit tricky. And there's this hook here on the back or on the side. And through here. And then you get to try to thread it by hand. All right. That wasn't too bad. All right, let's reduce our tension to 3. See if that helps at all. Let's see what we can do here. Okay, here we go. Oh, look, here's some presser foot tension. At least I think that's the presser foot tension. Let's reduce that some. Oh, it's moving a little better. It's moving. It's moving. And it's back tacking. Oh, and it's stuck again. And we broke our thread again. Dang. Okay, I'm still trying to get the old girl here to sew through 3 layers of terry cloth. It's doing just fine um, on the cotton spandex material, no problem. And I did find out that these numbers here mean how many stitches per inch. So at the top, 30 would be 30 stitches per inch. So that makes sense why I had really teeny tiny stitching up there, and then closer to the bottom, which mine, the farthest it will go down is about 8, I guess. The bottom of the lever is at 8. It won't go down to the 6. So I guess I'm getting about 8 stitches per inch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think it's probably at about a 10. It's about 10 stitches per inch. That's not too bad. Okay, I'm going to try everything I can think of here. I'm going to try some tissue paper. I'm going to put some tissue paper underneath the terry cloth, see if that helps it at all to move a little bit easier. I know, sounds really odd, but it does help. Knit material keeps it from getting sucked down to the throat plate, so maybe, I don't know, maybe it will do something for the terry cloth. It's worth a shot. It's definitely worth a shot. So I'm just going to cut a little square. Place it under my terry cloth. And all right, let's see what happens. And we're off. Oh wait, I'm gonna decrease my presser foot pressure a little bit. Oh, she's going, she's going. She backs up and she goes forward. Ah, so the tissue paper worked. How about that? Awesome. Awesome. I am excited. All right. Let's see. Highest position for the take-up lever. Lift the presser foot. Let's see what she looks like. So it's sewed beautifully, and then so you can just tear your tissue paper off, and it'll come out in the wash. It's not really that big of a deal. So that's awesome. Let's see if it'll do 4 layers. Let's go crazy here and try 4 layers of terry cloth. With a piece of tissue paper underneath. First of all, can we get it under the presser foot? Okay, we can. Lower the presser foot. And we're off. Yes. And she's going. Oh, she's going. Backwards. Forwards. How about that? How about that? The tissue paper trick. So that is awesome. That is really awesome. Usually what I'm sewing together here is pockets on a robe. So I flip them around, and then I get to after I've done this and I've flipped it over and I get to my corner, and then my newer sewing machine just locks up. It just will not go over that. And even with the walking foot and reducing the presser foot pressure and a big, thick, heavy needle, I'll note that for this I'm just using a universal needle, a 90-14 universal needle. So it's not extremely large. And it seems to be doing a great job on the terry cloth. So the old $10 Spartan Singer is a winner. She's a beauty.